is a new dawn. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whatever time you might be watching this episode right here at SEO TV. My good name is Sylvia Wanjiru, and today I'm coming to you yet again with another episode of our health check. We tackle cancer because cancer has become a national and even global disaster. We need to understand what is this cancer, what is it doing to the people of our in the world, as well as particularly people who we want them to live and be better persons in their community. Remember, this is SEO TV, and today we're glad that we have our able sponsors, which are Salushi Empowerment Organization. As well, in that measure, we have a Salushi Wellness and Nutritional Clinic and Lushi Luxury and Fabrics. Remember, Salushi Wellness is a group of hospitals that tackle certain and actually most of, if not all, types of diseases that are many people are struggling with within our country. And today, to help me traverse through the discussion, at least I have the guest with me who will help me through, and she is a medical researcher who I'm gonna introduce in just a minute. But before then, you can talk to us through all our social media platforms at SEO TV, as well as our SMS line, which is 0712 925 924. And also, I want to remind you that this episode is a continuation of an episode we had. So today, we're going to be answering the question most of you posed about cancer. And to help me, I'm going to introduce my guest today in studio. How are you? And welcome to SEO TV.
Thank you so much.
To someone who might be seeing you for the very first time, you can begin by your names. What do you do?
Okay, I'm Dr. Lucy Wanjiru, and I'm a medical researcher, though I'm also a physician. But today, because I would like to highlight these issues deeper, I'm going to highlight them as a medical researcher so that we can understand. The clients or the patients can understand well about all the questions that they have, sent to you guys. Yeah.
And the questions are quite a bit. I hope we'll be able to tackle them today the best way we know how.
I will.
Yes, and thank you so much even for accepting to come again and again and again. We appreciate your presence. And now to begin with, Dr. Lucy, we begin with where it begins. What is cancer?
I would like the viewers to understand what cancer is, because without knowledge, they'll keep on asking those questions.
Yes.
Cancer, it is an abnormal cells that is inside your DNA. Those abnormal cells, which is in your DNA, they're supposed to be getting out through your lymphatic system. But once they fail to get out, what occurs is the tumors. They grow and they become tumors. So those dead cells is what we are supposed to fight. And you can get cancer from different areas. Yes.
You've said they are caused when these dead cells refuse to come out.
Yes.
What causes them not to come out into the out of a person's system?
What happened with the dead cells? Each and every person has those dead cells because the old cells, they're supposed to get out from your system, your lymphatic system, but maybe, or depending with your immune system, they can refuse to get out because they're supposed to get out maybe through the skin or maybe lymphatic system.
All right.
So once they're in your system, just know that you're at high risk to get cancer.
Okay.
Yes.
We have, in our previous episode, you said we have more than 100 types of cancers.
Yes.
And today I want to ask, and because most people asked of maybe some of the common cancerous diseases that many people get, maybe you can tell us on the common cancer types that people suffer from.
I would like also to highlight some few issues concerning the types of cancers that we have.
Yes.
Last time I talked about the types of cancers, and actually there are more than 100 types of cancers. But today we are going to talk about the famous cancer, that we have. And now we are going to tackle the issue of the cancers in men. So there are those cancers that can affect men, but it cannot affect women. But remember, they are the same cells. So when it comes to men, the most famous cancer, it is the prostate cancer, the kidney, the lung, the liver, and also the skin cancer. Those are the most famous cancer in men. When it comes to women, we have the breast, the cervical, the endometric, we have lung, we have kidney, and also liver cancer. Yes.
Okay, so
without forgetting leukemia.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yes.
that is the blood cancer. Okay, now we've tackled the common types of cancer in men and women. Now let us dive into what are some of the initial maybe symptoms that someone needs to look out for when you think or suspect that you have cancer, or are there existing symptoms that someone can look out for when they suspect that they are ailing from cancer?
Yes. When we talk about the signs and symptoms, personally as a medical researcher, I don't use signs and symptoms to treat the patient. I always look for the root cause of each and every type of disease.
Yeah.
So, but there are those symptoms that you can just know from early stage that something is not going well. Like for instance, there are those cancers that spreads faster, and there are those cancers that take a lot of time. So those that takes a lot of time, you cannot know earlier the symptoms, but those takes a lot of but those doesn't take a lot of time. You can just know that you have the cancer cells in your system. Like for example, let me just give an example with thyroid cancer. Thyroid cancer, you can stay with it for more than 10 years without even knowing or any sign.
Before we go on,
Yes.
maybe there's someone who doesn't know what is thyroid cancer, where does it occur?
Okay,
Maybe
the thyroid cancer comes from your thyroid gland.
Okay.
Yes. So, and the better part of that thyroid cancer, it doesn't spread. It doesn't go outside your thyroid glands. Yes, that is one of the advantage of it. But now, and also it is easier to cure the thyroid cancer. Yes.
Before we go to the maybe treatment process or curing process,
Yes.
you know, most of our people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And sometimes you find it hard that as a medic and even as a medical researcher, most people don't go for medical checkups. They only go for hospitals when they are ailing. And I feel like for a cancer to be noticed in the initial stages, someone needs to normalize medical checkups. I don't know, I'm just thinking that is the right way. Maybe you can advise a person.
According to the WHO, we always recommend, they always recommend for those medical checkup, like if you are suspecting you have, or you might have breast cancer, we do mammogram.
Okay.
If you suspect that you have cervical cancer, we do pap smear. And those things that we always advise our people to get out and do those tests, they are okay in one way or the other.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't advocate for that.
Oh, okay.
Well, for that is, I always talk about prevention because I know prevention is better than cure.
True.
What are you supposed to do? Like now, people are talking about cancer than even HIV and
Yes.
AIDS. Because of what? Because people are dying. And when they came to realize that they have cancer, in most cases actually, they get the report that they are at stage 4.
It's too late.
It is too late even to tackle them. So once you are told that you are going to have to start chemotherapy and radiotherapy, what happened? Because you are already shocked and you are not accepting that you have cancer cells in your system.
Yeah.
You start, the depression actually is the one that kills faster, and also the chemotherapy. Yes. So as I try to answer your question, checkup is good, but to me, I would request the viewers, the Cell TV viewers, to visit our clinic and learn more about prevention. Because as I said earlier, these cells, there is what you can do. Because they were supposed to get out from your system, but unfortunately,
They didn't.
They didn't. So the best way out is for you to come to visit us so that you can learn more. And also we have already come up with a weekly edition whereby we'll be highlighting about all those issues because we cannot talk and finalize everything during the interview. So for those who will be following us and would like to know more about the diseases, not only the cancer, we'll from next week we'll have our first edition or the first episode whereby if you follow them well, you can read them online or maybe you buy the newspaper on a weekly basis. It will be a weekly edition. You'll be in a better position now to follow up and know the causes of each and every disease, the prevention, and also the treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna dive into the treatment right after a very short commercial break, and we've said prevention is better than cure. Definitely, no one wants to go through treatment if you can find ways to prevent the disease even itself. So we're gonna be having Dr. Lucy with us still in studio. We're gonna get to know what is the best way to prevent diseases. Is it changing the lifestyle we are leading? Is it the nutrition? Is it what we eat? Is it what we get into the system? Or even what we do? We're going to traverse about that in a minute. Remember, this is SEO TV. We still have Dr. Lucy in studio. We're going to be back with more about cancer. Welcome back to SEO TV. We are back yet again. Today we are tackling cancer in depth. It's a continuation of our previous episode concerning cancer. We've seen that cancer is a deadly disease and it's killing a lot of people. You posed the questions, and who are we not to bring back a medic to help us through this process of understanding cancer, how to prevent it, and even prevent ourselves from untimely death. In studio with me, I still have Dr. Lucy, who will help me, who is helping me through this interview today. And obviously before the break we had tackled a lot about cancer, and we had reached on maybe cancer is here. What is the next step as a patient, and even as a person who has a patient with cancer. Now, Dr. Lucy, let us continue now. We've seen the different type of cancer, and we've seen, you've told us, maybe not at length, you've mentioned that there are different cancers that are very hard to maybe to cure, and others that are easy to cure. In the same measure, do we have the dangerous types of cancer?
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. As I said earlier, we have more than 100 types of cancers, but there are those that spreads faster. There are others that are easier to cure, and there are those that are not easier to cure. So I think we are going to tackle the most dangerous cancer.
Yes.
The most dangerous cancer is pancreatic cancer, the liver cancer, the brain cancer. Those are the most part of the most dangerous cancer. Yes. And also when we go to the most easiest cancer to cure, we have the thyroid cancer, the breast cancer, the testicle cancer, and also the prostate cancer. Those one, they're easier to cure. Yeah.
So, and I guess they are easier to cure maybe because when they don't affect like the whole part of the body. They affect a specific place. Like the thyroid, you had told earlier, they only affect the glands.
The thyroid glands.
Oh, okay. I'm really trying to understand these terminologies and all that.
Okay.
So, okay.
First of all, I would like the viewers to understand that cancer, it can be malignant or it can be benign. So when it is malignant, it spreads faster.
Oh, okay.
When it is benign, yes, it doesn't spread faster. Yes.
All right. And how long does maybe a the cancerous disease that takes longer to be detected can take before a medic detects it?
Actually, apart from pancreatic cancer that you can know it within a duration of like probably 3 to 5 years, others can take long. Like if I can just give an example with cervical cancer, you can even go with it for about 15 years without knowing that you have those cells. And remember that I told you that you get cervical cancer from the HPV phylus, and the HPV is grouped in 100 species, and out of that 100, 16 to 18 are the one that can give you the HPV. Yes, the phylus that can trigger to cervical cancer. So it is a process. It can take for over 15 years for you to know that you have cervical cancer. But there are those symptoms that you might start suspecting. That's why I'm requesting, viewers to visit our clinic so that we can sit down and discuss about it. Because I always say that everyone has cancer cells in the system. When they are less, it's what you are doing with those cells. Yes. And then when it comes to the age, because you can see like cancer cells takes like 15 years for you to know that you have it. When it comes to like breast cancer, it can take even for 8 years for you to get that pimple that we talk about. So what happens, remember there are those prevention injections for the cancer, but not all. It's only the cervical cancer. So we have the HPV injection, and the HPV injection cannot be taken by everyone. It is only for the girls between 10 to 25 years. Those are the only girls that can take the injection. But we always recommend between the age of 25 to 35 to, we advise them to do the checkup, the pap smear, and at least after every 3 years, but from the age of 35 to 50, or 55 and above. We always advise them to be going for the checkup after 5 years. It is because the age between 25 to 35, they're active sexually. And that is where they can get, because remember, I told you that the cervical cancer, you can get it from phylus. And that's why you see people are complaining about STI. You are giving medication, after 2 or 3 months, you are back to the hospital again. So when you suspect those kind of things, just know that things are not well. But now here, when we talk about the age bracket, if those people, actually the 50% of those people who has the cancer are between the age of 50 and 60. Let me just give you an example with cervical cancer that takes like 15 years for you to know that you have it. So a person with 50 years, if you minus 15 years, that is 35 years. So it shows that from the age of 35, that person started having those dead cells. So at the age of 50, that is when the woman is realizing that things are worse. If we talk about endometric cancer or maybe uterine cancer, those ones can even take 10 years without knowing. But you as a lady or a woman, you must have signs that triggered to that endometriosis cancer. So it depends with the type of cancer.
So someone should look out even for the simplest symptoms if you feel your body is not functioning properly.
and that is why we want to come up with a newspaper or weekly edition, so that we'll be highlighting about the symptoms of each and every type of cancer, so that once you suspect you have those kind of symptoms, you visit us so that we can give you the right treatment, so that you can protect yourself from getting those cells. Yes.
And actually, Dr. there are people maybe who might think that cancer is generic. Maybe you can tell them, is cancer generic or not? Can someone inherit this disease?
Those questions, I always receive them from my patients or people around the country, whether cancer is genetic. But I would like to highlight that issue. Yes, it is. 5 to 10% they get cancer from families, but 90% it is through the acidosis and chemicals allowed there, around them.
Yes.
Yes. So it is just a small percentage. That's why you can see that maybe your grandma went with the cervical cancer, or maybe breast cancer or colon cancer. Your aunt the same. So those people, to convince them that it is not hereditary, it's hard.
Yeah.
But we have that small percentage that is between 5 to 10% because of the genes.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the genes.
Yes.
Which is in your DNA.
Okay.
Yes.
But
And that is the reason why I always say that you can get a kid, maybe you are brown, and then you get a black kid.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
maybe
seen
your
that.
husband is not brown.
Yeah.
So, but if you go back to your family, you will see that maybe your grandma was brown or black. That is why you are getting a kid exactly too. Yes, because of the genes.
Oh, okay.
So that is why we say that between 5 to 10%, it can be hereditary. Yes, but 90%, it is through acidosis and chemicals.
Yes.
And also the hormones. But hormones are being triggered by the chemicals in your body. Yes.
You've talked about chemicals, and
Yes.
Is cancer caused mostly maybe by the lifestyle people are leading?
Yes. When we talk about lifestyle, that is where maybe the acidosis is coming in.
Yes.
Because when you eat a lot of food which is rich in high acid, definitely you get an extra acid. And you remember last time I talked about what we are supposed to eat.
Yes.
If you eat food which is above 1.9 acid content, like, let me just give you an example with green bananas. Green bananas has 5.3. So if you eat bananas, that is matoke, throughout the year, you can try to imagine
The amount of acid.
the amount of acid in your system.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that we are not supposed to eat bananas, but moderate.
Yeah.
And you know when you're supposed to eat and when you are not supposed to eat, and also the percentage.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
And also when we talk about chemical, let me just give you an example with of someone who is smoking cigarette. Cigarette has a lot of chemical, so that person is at high risk to get lung cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is part of the chemicals. There is also chemicals, and I'm sorry to mention that because it is against the pharmaceutical rules. The conventional medicines, they are also triggering to cancer, because once you take medicine for a long period, remember those are chemicals you are taking. So once you take those chemicals, they can also trigger to cancer cells. That's
they
why
have their own side effects.
Yes, actually they have side effects. That's why I always talk about phototherapy treatment, because it doesn't have side effects.
Because
Yes.
there's no chemical.
No, there's no chemical in it. And that's why all my patients with cancer, I always use phototherapy medicines.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, when we've seen even people, when someone gets cancer, they are stigmatized. And I want maybe we can answer that question, because most people asked it on our previous episode. Is cancer transmitted?
Cancer is not transmitted because it is not part of the contagious diseases, but you can get them through the genes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is clear that cancer is not transmitted.
Yeah.
People should not stigmatize people who have cancer.
Yes.
And on the same measure about stigmatization and all that, I want maybe to look at the camera and maybe give hope maybe to someone who thinks, I have cancer, my world is coming to an end. Do they have a chance of life? And you've said cancer is treatable. Maybe you can talk to someone out there at home, advise them on how to maybe tackle this journey.
First of all, I would like those people with the cancer patient at home, or maybe once your family member has been diagnosed with cancer, the first thing is to do counseling to that patient, because it is not the end of you. And also, to add on top of that, I cannot say that cancer is not curable. Me, I can say that according to how I have been tackling my patients, cancer is curable. All what matters is how you are going to address that case, because as we are aware, most of the people die because of the okay, actually we always say that chemotherapy and radiotherapy kills faster than cancer itself, because they cannot separate the cells. And once the cells, you are okay, once even the white blood cells are being tackled, it is the end of you, because your immune system will be down. So what I can say is this: prevention is better than cure. And since I have discovered that what we need to fight the cancer cells, we only need white blood cells. We have we have several white blood cells, but we have one that is which is called the T cells, and the T cells is grouped into 4 types. We have the CD4, CD8, the T regular, and also the lymphocytes. So once you get that dosage, it's like you are going to fight with a gun, and those people who are waiting for you are having maybe like pangas or sword. They cannot attack you. So that is why I'm assuring the cancer patients that it is curable, as long as you get the right person to address your case. Otherwise, let me say that I'm happy to be in this studio, and I know that I believe that people outside there, they are like, once you get cancer, it is the end of you.
Yes.
I would like to encourage them and tell them that it is curable. It all depends with the person who is going to tackle that. So from my end is to say that trust in God, and I believe everything will be okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And before we close, Daktari, we've said prevention is better
Than cure. Yes.
Maybe you can give us a little pointers of how maybe we can try and prevent and curb these diseases. I know we have an upcoming magazine that will help us in details to cover that, but maybe as we close, you can give us maybe a little tip-offs on how we can maybe try and prevent these diseases.
As I said earlier, everyone has cancer cells. Those are now the dead cells in his or her system. But how we can prevent ourselves from those cells, I think I have mentioned that we need the white blood cells.
Yes.
You can, the white blood cells, it's being produced by the bone marrow. But now, since maybe your white blood cells is not more in your system, what you can do is to get the T cells medication. Yeah, because once they are more in your system, they can be in a better position now to fight those dead cells in your system.
Yes.
Yes, so mine is to tell the cancer patients that there is hope. It is not the end of your life.
Yes,
Yes,
for sure, it's not the end. And you've heard it from Dr. Lucy. Go visit the clinic, Salushi Wellness and Nutritional Clinic. They are all over the country. We need to find solutions. We need to save lives. We need you today, tomorrow, and forever if possible. But again, let us try to curb this problem and this disaster of cancerous diseases. They are avoidable. From Dr. Lucy herself, she has said there is still hope. If to someone suffering there from cancerous diseases, you can still live again and even live longer. You know, visit the clinics, get medication, and all is gonna be all right. Remember, this is SEO TV. We have been with you, going through your questions that you sent to us right here at Salushi SEO TV, my bad. And also, I can also remind you that our able sponsors today was Salushi Wellness and Nutritional Clinic, where they cover and treat almost all diseases, from cancerous diseases to diabetes and all other types of diseases. Get their number, they will be running down below your screens, and you will be good to go. Also, we have a Salushi Empowerment Organization. It's all about smart farming, agribusiness of medicinal plant cultivation. And also we had Lushi Luxury and Fabrics, where people get to learn and even get to wear designer outfits made by Lushi Luxury Fabrics. If you're a student right there and you're wondering what's the best course I can do, come to Lushi Luxury and Fabrics Training Center and get to learn more about fashion and design. tailoring, and get a career out of yourself. This is SEO TV, and I'm really glad that you were with us through this process. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Lucy for even coming and teaching us each and every single time. We really appreciate you, and karibu tena na tena. We are glad to have you here always. From us here, I want to say thank you. May God bless you, and keep the comments coming. Keep the conversation going. It doesn't end here. So you can talk to us and interact with us on all our social media platforms at SEO TV. Our number is 0712-925-924. From me, Sylvia Wanjiru, it's a bye-bye for now. We'll be back with another episode. Goodbye.